Hello there, and today we're going to be talking about how to land a job. So this is Susan, and Susan wants to know what skills does she need to get a job? Great question, Susan. Let's just cover a couple of small details that you'll need to know. So number one, you may have an awesome resume. I'm sure that your fellow mentors have really taught you how to make a great resume that lists all of your experiences. Experience in of itself is just as important as being passionate about the job that you want to get. So even if you have all these things, though, sometimes it may not be enough. And like Susan, you may be wondering, what am I missing? One thing that's really important is eye contact. Let's say that Susan goes into her job interview and is talking to her boss, but doesn't look him in the eye. If you don't have any eye contact, that may make your boss feel a little bit uncomfortable. But if you look your boss square in the eye, if you address your boss by nodding your head whenever he's talking or she's talking, then you'll have a most likely better chance of potentially getting the job because the boss will feel better connected to you as a person. How interesting, isn't it? Now let's say that Susan is also getting ready for a job. She's in her interview, and as soon as she's going in the room to meet her future employer, she shakes his hand. It's pretty common, isn't it? But that can be a big downer if you have a weak handshake. If you have a weak handshake, your boss may say, "Oh, Susan, she's just not really bold. She's not really assertive." He may think that you don't really want the job. Now, that at all is not really the impression that you want to leave with a future employer, especially whenever you can quickly and easily make a better first impression by having a firm handshake. So go in there, give a firm handshake that shows that you're very confident. Confidence is definitely key in an interview. Now, of all of these skills, Susan can be very, very happy because she's worked very hard and woohoo! She has got the job! How exciting that of those two things, eye contact and a firm handshake, you can potentially raise your chances of getting a job. But what else do you need to know now that you're actually in the job? For one, the customer is always right. Two, you need to be patient with your customers and your coworkers. And three, you need to be willing to work your way up. Sometimes you may start at the bottom, but you can get promotions, and soon, before you know it, you can get your dream job. So in review, one, you need a good resume. That is always super important because it shows your employers your experiences and that you can put yourself on paper. A great writer is always important. On your resume, you need to list your experiences. That can be clubs or other work you've had. Two, maintain eye contact with your interviewers, whether that be your boss or anyone else. Now keep in mind that if you have a weak handshake, that may say that you're not very assertive, or maybe you don't even want to be there. So a firm handshake is definitely the way to go. By no means grip your boss's hand off, but just make sure that you have a confident handshake that shows that you're ready to be there and you're excited to go into this interview. Now, when you land the job, which is super exciting, and congratulations, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One, again, the customer is always right. So you can ask the customer things such as, "Can I help you? What can I help you with? How may I assist you today?" Remember that you're there to provide a service. And so patience is always key. Whenever you're patient, you can work your way up and you can get better raises. You can show that you have dedication for the company. Let's say that you start at a minimum wage job and maybe it's not your dream job, but in time you can go up that ladder and you can be where you want to be very soon. P.S. Here's a tip. After your first interview, you can help raise your chances of being remembered by sending a thank you note to your interviewer. Now this thank you note, if you can, try to make it handwritten because it just shows that you put more time and thought into it. If you can't, though, that's understandable, and there are other ways to do that. You can do e-cards as well. So address it with Dear So-and-so. Now, why should you send a thank you note? Susan wonders. That's a great question, Susan. One, if you send a thank you note, you'll be remembered. It'll show that you were grateful to have an interview, and then you'll definitely be the star of the company. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that some of these tips gave you great ideas for going out to your own future interviews. Best of luck to you, and tune in next time.